All right, here we go. Hi, friends. It's time for the Witchy Weather Report. My name is Roy Kelly. I read cards under the name of Sassafras Tarot. Hey, Mary Jane, how are you? I'm just getting set up everywhere. I go live in five or six different places, many places. I go live in many places. I think it's 5 places. The last Saturday of the month is when I do this, and I always think I'm going to be able to go live everywhere all at once, and I'm always like at the last minute going like, "Oh God, let me just get the next one up." But we're trying. How we doing, everybody? I see some comments already. Hey, Melissa. We got cats in the chat. Hey, Mary Jane. Yeah, Kaylee is around. You can see her. She's like supervising slightly off camera. I am attempting to get live on TikTok. And I'm going to go on Facebook and just share the broadcast so that everyone can see it. If you would like me to pull a card for you, the secret code is to put a cat in the chat. So drop a cat emoji in the chat or just write the word meow and I will know to pull a card for you. Kaylee is my cat in the chat, so I will be pulling a card for everyone and myself if I have time. But if not, then whatever. If everyone else wants a card and I don't get to me within the hour, then that's a good problem to have because I love when folks tune in. Okay, here we are. Witchy Weather Report. I'm doing my share now. I'm just like live typing. Witchy Weather Report. Tune in and comment on the original video so I see the comments. Hey, Judith, meow, meow. How are you? Sharing this in a couple of groups. Hi, Kaylee. Kaylee's helping. I don't know if y'all can see her. She's being a varmint by climbing on my chair like an absolute lunatic. That's what we do here. Hi, Kaylee. So a couple weeks ago, we had a new moon in Capricorn. We also, not to bury the lead, have a new year on our hands. It's now the end of January, the first month of the year. And I want to know how you are feeling. Oh, Mary Jane has a kitty named too. She's a little gray princess named Lilith. Watch out for the gray ones. They're wild. They're crazy. I mean, I highly love mine, not meaning to talk bad, just letting you know they're crazy. Hi, Kaylee. You are a lunatic. This is Kaylee. She's helping with the broadcast. So every month on the last weekend of the month, I go live with the Witchy Weather Report for just 1 hour where I pull a card for every single person, like all of us together as a collective. Yes, you're helping. You're helping with the iPad. And then pull cards for as many individuals as I can get to in the hour. If you want to get an individual reading with me, you absolutely can. Right now, I'm working on today and tomorrow. I'm finishing up my readings for February. So those of you who regularly get a monthly reading from me, if you're signed up for the regular subscription, you will get it. If you've bought a one-off February reading with me, you will get it. If you want a February reading from me, this is really your last chance to do it. The link is in my bio if you're on Instagram or like attached to this video if you're watching elsewhere. And I would love to pull a card for you. Okay. It seems I have shared the broadcast. I see people tuning in. Hi, Nancy. I know we did the first month that flew by. So answer me while I get myself on TikTok, not Tic Tac, which is a delicious mint that you put in your mouth, but TikTok is not. While I get myself on TikTok, answer me these questions 3. Or maybe I should ask them when I'm live on TikTok. No matter. We're good here. Add a title, Witchy Weather Report. Answer me these questions 3. Question 1, where are you tuned in from? I'm broadcasting live from my dragon lair here on Long Island in New York. What you sipping on? I will eventually be sipping on water. I have a bottle of water over on my night table. I'm going to have to go get it. And question 3, how are you feeling today? I want the real answer, not the polite answer. For real, how are you feeling? Okay, now I'm live on TikTok. Hopefully I can get this iPad up in a way that's functional somewhere, like right here, maybe. I'm working on this, y'all. I'm working on it. Please stay. We're moving forward anyway. I'll take it. Yeah, we are moving forward. Oh, you're finally getting unstuck. We love that. I love to hear about people getting unstuck. Okay, I think I can put this iPad. Hi, if you're watching on TikTok, you're having a wild experience right now. I did it. Okay, I've got all 3 screens up. Yay, hooray for me. So if you're tuned in for this broadcast and any of the places you're tuned in feels like not great, like you're not getting a great stream experience, try another. I'm live on Sassafras Tarot channels on Instagram, Twitch, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube right now. So there's 5 places you can find me pulling cards for you. And I would love to see you in any of those places. And you can come on the broadcast and get a card for yourself. I see a couple people tuned in. Thank you so much for tuning in. All the places. So answer me these questions 3. Where are you tuned in from? I'm broadcasting live from Long Island, New York. What you sipping on? I'm about to go get some water from my night table. Very exciting. And question 3, how are you feeling today? I'm feeling frazzled. I'm feeling like I'm feeling good frazzled. Like the universe has just like quietly delivered me a lot of things I've been waiting for. But if you're a tarot reader, big 8 of Wands energy for me, where a lot of things are happening at once. And I'm like, ha, 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 okay, I'm just going to try and hang in there. That's how I'm feeling. How are you feeling? Hang on, hydration checkpoint. I'm getting my bottle of water. I'm not leaving. I'll come back. Okay, tuning in from Blanket Couch. We love Blanket Couch. Sipping on water when I get up and grab it. Yes, samesies. Feeling tired. Didn't sleep all last night, but hoping the day gets better. Me too. I'm going to pull a card for everyone in just a minute. I used to do that the second the broadcast started. And then I realized I was reiterating it throughout the broadcast as people came in. So we're just doing hellos. And I'm going to pull a card for everyone in just a minute. And then I'm going to get to everybody's card. Drinking water kind of half on my bed. I was in the living room, but my very good friend said something very thoughtful and kind, which made me a little teary. So I went into my room. Aw. I'm feeling all things as always, but mostly good. Mostly feeling good. We love feeling good. We love finally feeling like you're getting unstuck. Tune in from the couch, surrounded by technology that I struggled to get set up all night. Upgraded iPad and phone. Woo! And had to reset up my old watch, my old phone. I just finished an instant cappuccino. Ooh, Magick. And I've started sipping on strawberry lemonade electrolyte water. We love. Tuned in from Dover, Delaware, sipping on coffee. Hell yeah, coffee. Feeling a little sore for no good reason. That's rude. You're not being rude. I just think it's rude that you have to feel sore. But very motivated by my research now. So stop it, achy body. I'm sending stop it, achy body energy. Everybody send some good healing, feel better vibes at Nancy. Wiggly vibes, wiggly vibes. 8 of Wands, Way Home Tarot, those damn lightning bolts. Yeah, it's big lightning bolt energy. My butt's on the couch, the usual couch, not an unusual couch. Finishing yesterday's vitamin water energy, and it's bloody cold in here. Yeah, it's been real chilly here in New York. How's the weather by you? Hydration checkpoint, everybody. Okay. I have a few tarot decks to choose from, and my brain can't decide which one. Not this one. And you know what? I'm doing it. I'm getting the Way Home Tarot, even though it's not one of the ones that I set out. Because you said Way Home Tarot lightning bolts, and I'm like, yeah, that's the one I really want to read with today. I need the Way Home, y'all. Okay, so we're getting the Way Home Tarot. So for right now, if you want a card, if you haven't asked already, drop a cat in the chat. If you've got a particular question, let me know so I can answer your question. And I'm about to pull a card for everyone. The collective. What is the vibe? Hold tight. You guys, I brought a blanket because life is too short for cold feet. Am I right? I think I'm right. Look at this great witchy blanket that my friend Judith, who is on the chat, got for me. Look, it's all pink and it has black cats. It says little witchy things. It's great. The official blanket of the Witchy Weather Report. I'm going with it. Instead of being like, Rory, why are you snuggling in a blanket on screen? That's weird. No, I'm going with it. It's all about maximizing comfort and joy in 2026. You can't stop me. You dropped your cat and a question. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay, so we're reading today with the Way Home Tarot. However, if you're familiar with my tarot decks or just want a wild card, I also have right near me the Lightseers Tarot, Shadowscapes, and Everyday Witch Tarot. If you specifically would like one of those, you let me know and I'll pull from that deck. Otherwise, you're getting a card from, for right now, the Way Home Tarot. I might switch midstream. Who knows what I might do? I'm a wild card. I'm a wild card and I'm pulling wild cards, and that's the way, y'all. That's the way things go. You thought that became Kaylee's blankie. Well, I mean, everything in this house belongs to Kaylee, Judith. Everything is Kaylee's. Yes, it is mostly Kaylee's blankie, but I'm borrowing it. She's being very magnanimous to let me warm my little feet under this nice pink blankie. Okay, hang on. We're getting cozy. Twitch, why? My message failed to send. That's so sad. What did I miss about a stampeding unicorn? Oh, wow. I'm not looking at it right now, but I'm pretty sure Crystal Visions has stampeding unicorns. Yeah, it might. I think yes, actually. That sounds right for Eight of Wands for Crystal Visions. Okay, I'm looking at some of your comments. Hello, if you're tuned in, feel free to drop a cat. Huntington Lemon Seltzer feeling stressed over the state of the nation. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you and me both. You and me both. That is very real. Photography happenings for 2026. I love that question. Okay. Hello, friends. Hello, friends on TikTok. I see people like tune in and out on TikTok all the time. Listen, if y'all want a card, you let me know. You drop a cat in the chat. You write a cat emoji or write the word meow, and we're good. We're good here. Meowing. Hello, Anna. My cat was dropped, and I was reiterating my question to make it easier for you. Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate you. Okay. It is 11:16. Do you know where your inner child is? Here's our card. This is our card for the month of February to guide us to having the February that we deserve and desire. I'm just adjusting my screens a little bit so that y'all get a better view. There we go. Okay. Y'all, it's the Daughter of Cups. So how does it feel? How does it feel to be a squishy human right now? I'm like showing this around my different screens because I have a few different screens. Daughter of Cups. Look at this beautiful flower that's literally like blossoming out of our very selves. We are getting back in touch with parts of ourselves that are squishy and emotional, parts of ourselves that are younger, parts of ourselves that maybe we've hid away over the years in order to protect them. And now it's time for us to reclaim them. It's time for us to show up for our inner emotions and ask ourselves what they're telling us. What is your inner world telling you? What is your inner self telling you? How can you be softer and gentler to yourself? How can you reclaim parts of yourself that are more hopeful, more innocent, more happy-go-lucky? How can you show up for these inner parts of yourself that are maybe very young? Maybe they need some love. Maybe they need some guidance. Maybe Maybe we put them aside because they weren't getting the care that they needed when we were younger. And now we've grown into the people who can care for those parts of ourselves, right? How can we reparent our inner child? How can we listen to the parts of ourselves that are squishy and emotional and creative and mysterious and excited by life's mysteries? How can we show up with love and care for those parts of ourselves so that they don't get, friggin' hurt and alienated by the world, which can sometimes be cruel, right? How can we show up with deep love for our squishiest parts? Hey, Ondine, good meowing. Hey, Anjali, how are you? Good to see you. How does it feel to be a squishy human right now? It feels itchy. Okay, yeah, I hear that. Okay, I'm gonna scroll up and start taking people's questions right now. I'm gonna go. I think Mary Jane was the first cat in the chat and asked about photography happenings in 2026. I don't think I've seen any cats on TikTok, but if you're tuned in on TikTok right now and you'd like a card, you just let me know. And I'm just gonna scroll through. So if you want a card, if you have not already dropped a cat, feel free. If you have a question, feel free to put it in there. Mary Jane, this is for you. Photography happenings in 2026. Love this question. I love that question, Eileen. That's a delicious question. Mary Jane, I'm holding this especially towards Instagram because I think that's where you are. Seven of Swords. So photography happenings in 2026, we're negotiating the truth. I'm not sure if this is a creative directive or a career directive or both. We're negotiating the truth. We're negotiating what it looks like to understand we know some of the truth, but not all of the truth. That's always true. Complicated. It's always true that we know some of the truth, but not all of the truth. It's always true that our truth is a moving target as we evolve, as we grow, as we take in new information and assimilate new information. And it's always true that there's some truth externally that's being shared with us. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's much more truth that we don't know. We don't know what we don't know. And yet we do know what we do know, and we have to do our best to move forward with that information. And the Seven of Swords in particular suggests, what does it feel like to look out for number one? What does it feel like to allow our truth to be enough to drive our actions, even though there are things we don't know? And even though there are things that other people don't know about us, we don't owe it to everyone to be an open book, in particular, knowing that just being open and vulnerable about every little thing, there are people in the world who will take advantage of that. So what does it feel like to take care of yourself first, to honor your truth, right? And not feel like I have to explain everything. I have to show the work to everyone. I have to be pressured to understand every little thing. My truth is enough to act on. That's the question for you. And I'm not sure, Mary Jane, if you want to explore that in your work creatively, or if this is also a career directive for you. You decide how to interpret that. That's the energy of your photography in 2026. This complicated relationship with the truth, and choosing to let the truth that you do know, your truth, the truth that resonates right in here, be enough for you to move forward rather than worrying about everyone else. Daniel says, hello, Rory, but does not want a card. Hey, Daniel, how you doing? Okay, Tiger says, we're going to do more healing energy, everybody. Please send healing energies to Buku Panakara, I hope I'm saying it right, lead monk on the walk, who is quite ill now from marching through snow and ice. Their destination is Washington, D.C. They're so close to completing the journey. Thank you. I'd love to hear more about that journey. For those who are not familiar with it, I've heard a little bit, but I'd love to hear just a high level, what's going on. Because yes, everyone, please send healing energies. All right, I'm scrolling up for some cats. I've got Melissa on deck, and then I've got Brittany And there are certainly more people who have put cats. Don't worry. I'll get to all of you. I'm just taking like 2 at a time because that's what my brain will hold. Mary Jane says, perfect. Thank you. That works for career and personal life. Often that's the way. Often there's like one message, one lesson that we need to learn, and it's in multiple places. On deck, Melissa B. Thank you so much. Let's see if Melissa had a particular question. I'm doing a scroll. I'm doing a little scroll. Okay, Melissa says, since you're in the know, hit me with a guide card to navigate this new situation, please and thanks. Yes, absolutely. I shall do the thing. For those who don't know what a guide card is, I pull guide cards often at the beginning of the year for myself and for my clients. And it's a card, it's like one card to rule them all, one piece of advice that will carry you through. If it's a year guide card, it's for the whole year. It's a guide card you're meant to keep coming back to. If it's for a situation, it's meant to guide you through the situation. It's meant to be like, here's the thing you need to remember. Here's the really important thing. I'm lowering my chair a little, guys. There we go. That's better. Okay. So, Melissa, I'm pulling your guide card in this situation. It's the 6 of Cups. You really want to, we're having this theme emerge. Like, you really want to be gentle with your inner child right now. You really want to give to yourself. And you really want to let others give to you and show yourself that you can be healed, that you can have a seat at the table, that you can be catered to, that you can have your glass refilled rather than always refilling everybody else's cup. So there is this emphasis on what does it feel like to have our cup filled for us? What does it feel like to allow others in enough to be kind and gentle with us? And with the 6 of Cups in particular, it suggests there's some wounding to be healed from childhood, from the past, from things that we may be nostalgic about, but we know it's not that we made the wrong choices by letting go of certain things. It's that we do have needs and we wish things could be a certain way sometimes. So let the 6 of Cups be your guide. If you're making connections between the past and the present, you're not wrong. That there are lessons that your body and mind are helping you to learn. And there are also opportunities now in your own journey, your soul's journey, if you will, whatever that means to you, however you think of a soul, right? There are opportunities in your own journey to let yourself live a little gentler, to let yourself break patterns that may have been established from family and from childhood, maybe even intergenerationally, that didn't serve you, that didn't fill your cup. Sink instead into the feeling of emotional generosity. And that emotional generosity doesn't always have to come from you. Allow others to be emotionally generous with you and allow yourself to bask in the glow of that affection. Allow yourself to feel the kindness and soak it up like a sunflower soaking up the sun. And understand that as you soak up that sun and kindness, you become a reflection for it. And so you brighten the whole world when you allow yourself to receive in that way. You're welcome. I love you too. Okay, I'm looking for Miss B's question, and there will be 2 more people, but I'm just getting to Brittany right now. I do see a meow, but I know you had a particular question. I'm finally feeling like I'm getting unstuck. I'm not sure if that was a question or if that was just a statement. Oh, but I do remember your question because you kind of texted it to me before. Yeah. Okay, I'm just scrolling. All right. So I'm pulling your card for you. Some people, and you're welcome to do this, by the way, if you know I'm going to be live with the Witchy Weather Report, you're welcome to pre-text me with your question or whatever, or message me. Yes, I remember your question, Brittany. And especially too, if you're like, this is personal, but if you know, you know. Brittany, this is your card. It's Temperance. You're really meant to protect your core right now. Hey, Eric, thank you for tuning in. How are you? You're meant to protect your core right now. You're meant to, like, you can see in the center of this peacock that this like beautiful peacock is taking up the entirety of the card and going off screen, going off the edges a little bit. And within, there is this beautiful core that is both fire and water, your passions as well as your deep well of emotions, both. And one is protecting the other, your passions, the fire of your passions is protecting the deep well of your emotionality, the deep well of your potential to connect. And wrapped around that is your beautiful, shining peacock self, which can be represented as like how you present to the world, like similar to a rising sign, how you show up to the world and how you engage with the world, right? There are things about you that, for like, we have this peacock energy, you know, like it can feel very, proud and big and beautiful. And that doesn't mean that the whole of you is proud and big and beautiful. It means that that's the part of you that gets shown to the world. And that part of you protects this inner core, protects this deep well of emotion, of all types of emotion, and protects this inner fire and inner passion. And you're meant to balance those things out. You're meant to allow parts of your personality. You mindfully choose this, right? You mindfully choose what parts of your personality come forward and engage with the world, and protect the parts of your personality that are precious but deeper and not always meant to be engaging on a like visceral skin to skin level with the big bad world, right? Those parts of you are meant to come forward when it is safe and how it is safe, and remain a little bit clean and pure, remain a little bit safe from all of the friggin' day-to-day troubles of life. And so what does that look like for you? How does it look to watch out for yourself with yourself? How does it look to show up day to day with showing up both for your inner core and your passions and your deep well of emotion, and also for the part of you that is bright and vibrant and deserves to shine? Keeping those things in balance is the energy right now. One foot in front of the other is a great choice. Okay. On deck, I'm moving over to Instagram. I know I got a couple people on Insta. Oh, I'm trying to scroll without accidentally sending a message. We've got Ondine. And the question is, I'm in a damn tight spot, how to find my way forward. And then I'm going to move back over to some of the other people requesting cards. If you just joined and tuned in, know that we're working with the Daughter of Cups, which means there's an inner squishy part of you, and this is coming through in everyone's readings big time this month. There's an inner squishy part of you that is ready to come forward, that is ready to be embraced, that is ready to receive care and engage with the world in a more whimsical, carefree way. My throat is telling me it's time for a hydration checkpoint. And the question is, how can you both protect and set free that part of you? How can you do both, right? How can you think of that part of you as a lovely, adorable, like whimsical, free spirit that deserves at once to engage with the world and to frolic, and also to be protected from the darker, challenging parts of the world? I may need to get another water because my throat is dry and I only have a little bit of this left. Let's go for Ondine's card. Brittany says, I may have to do some thinking because A, I struggle with temperance, but B, I struggle with trying to answer that question. Yeah. That's why I shared a lot with the imagery. And Brittany's bossing me to get more water. Thank you. Thank you for looking out for me. Okay, so I'm going to pull this card for Ondine, and I'm going to follow my instructions and get a bottle of water. Hi, Kaylee. Kaylee's helping. She's behind me. You can see she's like poking her head around. Ondine, here is your card. Feeling this big time. The answer is the 10 of Cups. Now, I think that's a really interesting answer. And I don't think it's toxic bypassing here. I think you're being asked. You see these cups are stacked, and together they give off this vibrant light. It's like the type of crystal, the type of glass that creates rainbows, you know, when the light hits it the right way, prismatic. And it's this beautiful idea of like, what's truly important to you, what truly lights your heart, what truly lights your soul, what truly makes you feel connected, what makes you feel like, yes, like this is the part of my life that really matters the most to me. It's more than one thing in your life, right? People, places, things, situations. The 10 of Cups is about our family, our chosen family, what matters the most to us. And when you're in a tight spot, it can be easy for you to feel like, I can't focus on those joys right now. I just have to solve the problem. And the universe is telling you, no, what you actually have to do is focus on what matters most to you. Let those who love you refill your cup. Another emerging theme. Let yourself find joy even in the difficulty. Did you know that while you're going through a difficult situation, you are not actually required to be miserable the whole time? You're not being a good student of life's shittiness by being miserable the whole time. You're allowed to have joy even in a bad situation. It doesn't make you frivolous and shitty. It makes you a human being who is wisely understanding that the full spectrum of emotions is actually what's needed in order for you to meet the world as your best self. And when we feel miserable and dysregulated and stressed, and we're trying to make choices from that, they're not going to be our best choices, because we're not generally making choices about fulfilling our destiny, our personal life's goal. They're going to be choices about getting away from the problematic shit. And rather, you're being reminded, make your choices heart-centered. It's more important now than ever. It's more important now than ever to choose based on your joy and the love in your heart and the love that you share with others, rather than the oh shit, everything's on fire energy, right? Oh shit, everything's on fire is not a sustainable energy. There are times in our lives when there are crises. There are times when there is an actual fire and we do have to drop everything and put it out. That cannot last longer than like a little bit of time in one day, right? Because when it lasts longer, it's no longer a sprint, it's a marathon. And now we have to ask ourselves, what will bring endurance and resilience to this situation that's not going to get solved overnight? We can't demand that we constantly be in crisis mode for days, weeks, months on end, because we're simply not built for it, and we won't make the right decisions. Importantly, because our nervous system can only sustain that for so long without taking significant psychic and physical damage. And so we need to find ways when we're in a crisis that is ongoing. We need to find ways to find joy. We need to find ways to find comfort. We need to lean into what we care about and what fills our cups. And we need to do that as a priority, right? Maybe you feel like, oh, I'm trying to solve this problem, so every day I'm working on it. You're trying to solve this problem, so every day you must fill your cup. You must do the thing that's going to make you feel better. For real, for real. Okay, I've been instructed to go get more water. Thank you for looking out for me. I appreciate you very deeply. I'm going to go get another bottle of water, and then there will be more cards. And if you just tuned in, know that collectively we're working with the Page of Cups. Our younger self has messages for us. Our inner self, the parts of ourselves that are more squishy, that we don't always show to the world, sometimes because we're ashamed, sometimes because we're afraid we'll get hurt, sometimes for a variety of reasons, sometimes because we can't trust those parts of ourselves. We're worried that they'll get carried away, right? Those parts of ourselves need to come forward right now, and we need to create a safe environment of them. We need to create a safe environment where we can be whimsical, we can be free-spirited, and we are looking out for the hard edges of the world to protect our inner child from banging their head against them, in their excitement. We're looking out for ourselves in a way that lets us move forward in our joy and our bliss and our whimsicalness. Okay, I'm getting a water. You can't stop me. Okay, friends. I know there's some more cards. Thank you. Thank you for supporting my hydration, everybody. It's okay if we go a little over 12 today. Often I have somewhere else to be, but today, the only thing that's happening is I'm hanging out here, and I have dinner with my sister later, and I'm getting everybody's February readings out to them. And I will let you know, if you would like to get a monthly reading for the month ahead, for the month of February, I do this every month. I have a bunch of people that are regulars for this. And, often there's someone who's like just on a one-off, or maybe you want to see if you like it before you commit to the regular thing. You can do that I'm going to type it into the chat for 3 of the 5 places I am. tinyurl.com, your tarot month, all one word. So tinyurl.com/your tarot month. You can go there and get just your February reading if you order it today. Today's the last day to order the February readings. I mean, you could order it tomorrow, but if you do, message me, make sure I see it so that I can get it to you promptly. You can get your February reading. It's $47 for a monthly reading, and I give you a week-by-week breakdown of the energy of the month and how to show up for it, and how to show up and for your dreams and goals, as well as some cards to help you understand what you need for your own highest good right now and what's not going to help you. And if you want to do this regularly with me every month, which I love, some of you have elected to do that, you can subscribe and save. I do $10 off a month if you subscribe and save. So if you want to do that, pay $37 instead of $47 and get this check-in with me every month that's like deep, not just this one card, go for it. tinyurl.com/your tarot month. Thank you for putting that in there, Miss B. I appreciate you. Where will I put the second bottle of water? A wonderful problem to have. January's wasn't super helpful for me because of all the external nonsense going on, but I did continue to go back to it through the month and touch base. Sometimes that's life. Sometimes I think for a lot of us right now, life is getting real loud, and it's good reasons. I think that things are coming up for us that are actually answers to prayers and answers to situations and dreams and desires that we may have been harboring for years. But those things come in at a pace that simultaneously feels too slow and too fast. That's how 2026 seems to be going for me and a lot of folks I know. And, it can feel very dysregulating. And that is the right time when it's great to check in and touch base with something like a tarot reading or your own inner compass, or a practice like walks or meditation or journaling that can help you recenter yourself. All right, let's see who else we got. If you are tuned in and you would like a card, drop a cat in the chat. If you are on, I think I've gotten everyone on Instagram, and I don't see anyone on TikTok right now. So if you're on Twitch, Facebook, or YouTube, I'm coming for you now. Okay, we got Hidden. Hidden's got a cat, and who's on deck is Nancy. Okay. Hidden, I'm looking to see if you have a question. I'm scrolling. I'm getting some texts right now from one of my bandmates, and if it's making the Instagram stream a little funny, please feel free to go find me in another place. Right now I'm on Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. Yeah. Okay, Hidden, I don't see a question, so here comes your card. You did not have a question beyond general guidance. Thank you. Ooh, Brittany says, I checked in with the reading, the monthly reading. I was reminded you had said this week is a self-care week, not a push week. And it really helped to navigate and refocus. I am glad. Yeah, sometimes that's the big, that's why I love a guide card. And each one of my monthly readings does include a guide card. I call it, this is the vibe in the reading. This is the vibe. This is not the vibe. So you have an easy, do this, don't do this. And that helps me not get led astray by all of the crazy. Right? It helps me remember my purpose is to focus on this, and that's what's going to lead me in the right direction. And yeah, for something like that, this week is a self-care week, not a push week. I know for me, that would help me make some decisions. I know for me that it'd be oh, okay, it's clear. Thank you. Okay, Hidden, we have the devil. You're meant to dance with the devil right now. I'm thinking of that Brandi Carlile song, which I don't remember the rest of the song. You gotta dance with the devil in the morning to beat the streets. I'm not even singing the right words. But it really is about understanding that we can't shy away from the parts of life that scare us. And often the parts of life that scare us most have to do with parts of ourselves that either scare us or are scared, or both. Most scary things are scared. I'm going to just put that out there for everyone in this moment. In the year of our Lord, 2026, most scary things are scared. When you corner a wild animal who would otherwise not hurt you, and they got in your garage somehow or whatever, and they're stressing out, and you corner them, that's when it's most likely to bite you, not because it's mad at you, because it's scared, because it's cornered and you're blocking the way out, right? And even bullies and harmful people and abusers, often they're acting the way that they act because they themselves are scared. Can we have compassion for that? Yes. Does it excuse things like abuse and bullying and harm? Absolutely not. But I'm telling you, most scary things are scared because I think this is important information for you to have right now. And I share this with everyone in 2026 as we are watching, we're watching many things happen here in the States. We are watching this overfunded team of violent people terrorize our streets with an injunction to do so by the government, kidnapping people, shooting people on the streets. Most scary things are scared. These are very scary people, and they are very scared as well. And the scareder everyone gets, the more volatile things can get. And I say this to you about this card hidden. I'm bringing it back around to being personal because I want you to know that the parts of yourself that you're afraid of are themselves deeply afraid. These are the parts where there's wounding. These are the parts where things have not always worked out in a way that felt healthy and whole and safe. And so as a result, maybe, yes, they're the parts that are most likely to make an unhealthy choice. They're not to be demonized and vilified and fought with when they're within yourself. They're to be befriended. And I know that's hard, but I also know that you are capable of sitting at the table with difficult parts of yourself and saying, we're not in agreement about everything, but I do care about what you're going through. Do you want to tell me more about that? And that is the first step to finding within yourself. This, I'm talking specifically about our inner psychology. I'm not saying that we should do this with everyone who bullies us. That's not always safe. Within yourself, that's how we should show up for the parts of ourselves that scare us. We should say, okay, you're being real loud right now. You must feel like I'm not going to listen, or you wouldn't be so loud. You're being real scary right now. You must feel scared, or you wouldn't feel a need to puff up and be scary. Can we talk about the real thing that's going on? And often when we do that, that does take the wind out of the sails and allow for a real conversation. I just want to give you permission to love the parts of yourself that you may fear are difficult to love. And when I say love those parts of yourself, I'm talking about love as a verb, right? It may be hard for you to find the right feeling, but I know it's not hard for you to find how to be loving. Shit getting real on the Witchy Weather Report, babes. Nancy, I've got a card for you. I think you did have a question. I'm scrolling down to find it. And Judith also put a meow. Okay, so we got Nancy, then we got Judith. That's who's on deck right now. If either of you has a question, feel free to put it right now. I am scrolling through just to see if I've missed any questions. Which is also, my scrolling time is an opportunity for you to type a thing if you want to. Okay, I don't see a specific question, so I'm just pulling cards for you both. Nancy, here comes your card. Nancy, your card is the Daughter of Swords. Trust that your analytical mind can get a handle on the situation. Trust also that there's information that is new that is coming to you to consider, that either I'm getting the sense that it's a mix of things that are truly new that you didn't know that are being revealed to you, things you didn't know before, right? Or things that perhaps you overlooked before or didn't have good enough context for before, so they couldn't enter into your decision making. They couldn't enter into your understanding of the situation. Things that were like, okay, if I knew more about this, I would make maybe it would impact my decision, but I don't know enough. Now you're having an opportunity to consider a lot of things with fresh eyes. All of the pages of the tarot are like mini fools. They're starting on a journey. And with the Daughter of Swords here, you're meant to trust your intellect, and you're meant to apply your intellect in new ways. You're meant to say, there are things I haven't considered yet, or things I haven't considered from all the angles. How can I get curious? How can I see this with beginner's mind? How can I see this with fresh eyes? Sometimes a good way to do that is to explain it to someone who knows nothing about the situation. There's a thing, I used to be a coder. I used to work in tech. And there's a thing about Having a rubber duck. Have you ever heard of this? Having a rubber duck on your desk. I don't have a rubber ducky, but I have this cute little dinosaur light. Look, it lights up. Come on, light up. No, it's out of power. Oh, well. Oh, there we go. I have this cute little light up dinosaur, and it changes color when you tap it, which actually looks like I'm over here like little bunny foo-foo popping all the field mice on the head. But take something like a rubber duck or like this cute little light up dinosaur and explain the thing you're thinking through to it, because the rubber duck doesn't know anything about your code problem, about your life problem, about your situation. And in having to explain it to someone who probably has a less sophisticated understanding than you and also doesn't know all the context that you know, will show you things in a different light, will show you things that maybe you overlooked and can consider differently now in context. So that's your job, is find the rubber ducky, find what you want to be that stand-in for the rubber duck, and start explaining shit to it. Rory Kelly is here advising you to talk to inanimate objects. Welcome to the Witchy Weather Report. Because right now, your intellect is what's needed to solve the problem, but you do need to look at things in a fresh way. You don't actually need anything more than your brain and a willingness to see things with fresh eyes. Melissa says, I have some squishy interns. This is helpful. I love that. Yeah. We have Kaylee, who she's a squishy intern, but also varminty. Big love for rubber duck. I have taken that and brought it into the writing sphere. Yes, I think that's so good. I think that's so good as a tool for a writer. Really, any project or problem solving, you know? Okay, Judith, I'm pulling a card for you now. And if you're still on deck, don't worry, I'll get to you. Judith, your card is the Two of Pentacles. First of all, protect the future you're building. Protect it with yourself. There are parts of yourself that know how to get angry, that know how to get protective, mama bear energy. You know what I mean? Allow those parts of yourself to come forward and protect the future you are building. If you're on TikTok, I got to let you know, my battery is dying on my iPad and it's not plugged in. So if you're on TikTok and you really are enjoying the broadcast, you might want to skedaddle over to Instagram, Facebook, or Twitch, because this might run over and I might run out of battery, or YouTube, because I'm live in 5 places. If you're everywhere else, you're good, because I'm using different devices. And Judith, as I went to talk more about the Two of Pentacles, I see the moon underneath it. You might not know how to build the future you want to build. You might have an idea of what you want, but not know how to get from point A to point B. And you have to be deeply protective and trusting that what you want is possible, and it needs time to bake. When you are baking a cake, it goes in the oven liquid. It goes in the oven goo, and you just have to cross your friggin' fingers and hope that that goo coalesces into a cake that someone actually wants to eat. And I got news for you, by the way. Sometimes the baking doesn't go the way you expect it to, and it stays goo, and it doesn't look like the thing, but it's often still delicious at the end. So don't worry too much. That's what where you're at right now. These dreams, and it's specifically around your stability, time, money, energy, allowing those things to be easy for you and functional for you, things that serve you instead of you serving them all the time, running around like a chicken with its head cut off, trying to make all the things work. These dreams of increasing your stability to a point where you have safety, they're in the goo phase. You have to protect them while they are coalescing into cake. They're going to be goo for a while. That's normal. There's nothing wrong with them. You don't need to remake them. You don't need to pick new dreams. You don't need to declare failure. You need to understand that when you make a beautiful, delicious cake, it starts out as goo, and you need to put it in the oven for a while and let it bake. So let the things bake, and in the meantime, protect them. What does it look like to protect your dreams? First of all, it looks like not talking about them to the wrong people who will be wet blankets, people who will be shitty to you, people will try to poke holes in them before you've even made a plan, making you feel like you can't make a plan because now you're too nervous, right? People who will try to make you feel like you don't deserve those things. People who, even if they have good in their hearts, will concern troll you. Be like, well, I'm just worried about blah, 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 and make you second guess yourself until you can't move. Don't talk to those people about your dreams. They may be lovely people, but they're not the right people to support you in this. Find the people who will say, that's a beautiful dream. I want to see that happen for you. Find the people who simply believe in and support your vision, and talk to those people about them, and talk to your heart in that way. Don't poke your dreams full of holes before they've even had a chance to coalesce. Allow them to become cake. You can't see how they're going to coalesce now, so you must protect them. Let's see who else we got. If you tuned in recently, our card for everyone is the Daughter of Cups. Changes in our lives are being driven by our inner selves right now, by parts of ourselves that are squishy and whimsical and happy-go-lucky and have big dreams and big hearts. And we know that big dreams and big hearts can be broken, can be stepped on by a cruel world. And so we must show up and create a safe space for our big dreams and big hearts to run around safely and frolic and be excited about life, but be a little bit protected. We have to give ourselves the training wheels to let these parts of ourselves out and run free so that they can blossom into something beautiful. If we let it, this will be a beautiful, beautiful part of our life that we look back on 10, 15 years later and be like, thank God I had faith to be able to do that. Thank me, right? Thank me for giving myself the room to try out something that felt a little bit overwhelming, but really special. Thank goodness. So we must protect these parts of ourselves. Okay, who else do I have here? Eileen, I got a cat for you, Eileen. And I know I got a cat from Tiger, and I'm trying to see if that's everyone. So bear with me while I scroll a little bit. We got Hidden. We got Nancy. Eileen. Eileen's on deck, then Tiger. And Eileen's question, which I love, what are the next steps to release patterns rooted in young fear driving my bus? I love this question so much, Eileen. Okay, then I see Tiger. I'm just continuing to scroll to see if there's anyone extra. I don't think I see anyone else. So Eileen and Tiger are who I have left on my list. If you have asked for a card and haven't gotten one, I don't want to forget you. Please put it in the chat. Please be like, no, Rory, don't forget me, so that I remember to pull a card for you. Eileen and Tiger is who I have left on my list. Judith is in the protective goo. Yes. Eileen says, every card is felt like for me. I am changing my mind from my question to just a regular reading. Wow. Okay. Okay. I love that. I love changing your mind and communicating it. I love that you're like, actually, this is what I need. That's delicious. I'm surprised, Eileen, by these cards, because as I'm reading them, I also feel like every card is something I need to hear. I don't always feel like that. As a reader, I often see patterns in the world around me, and there are times when I feel like, okay, I'm in sync with that. That is also what my growth is going through right now. And there's times when I'm like, that's not me. That's just the message I'm meant to give to certain people, right? And I've been reading things for everyone, and I'm like, this is real personal. This feels real. I need to listen to. So yeah, we're all in it together, and we're very squishy together, y'all. We're in the squishy goo. Protect the squish. Eileen, your card is the 10 of Swords. What's the general reading? The general reading is that you're working the old poison out of your system. This is a harsh and real card. You're working the old poison out of your system to be reborn. Look at this seagull, which is dying on the beach because it's full of the trappings of friggin' modern society, right? Like little microplastics, pills, swords, needles, instead of nourishment, it's gotten things that detract from its well-being. Now, how does that feel for you? Where have you gotten, instead of the nourishment you were seeking, things that detract, things that poison you a little bit at a time? When you play Dungeons and Dragons or a lot of different role-playing games, you can take poison damage. Poison damage is a very particular type of damage where, for example, someone might shoot you in the game with a poison arrow, right? And the poison arrow, of course, hurts you, it causes piercing damage. You're like, ow, arrow. So that could be an emergent situation. But then the poison sets in and it's like this slow drip. And so what happens during the game is that your character slowly becomes weaker drip by drip, a little bit at a time. And you are cleansing the poison out of your system, Eileen. There are wounds that you have taken earlier in life that dealt you poison damage, meaning that yes, the wound in itself, you've probably gotten past now. Ow, I got hit by an arrow, but I cared for it, right? I did the triage, but the poison was still in your system, perhaps in your mind, convincing you weren't good enough, convincing your needs couldn't get met, and it was worthless to try, a number of things, right? You are purging the poison from your system. You're taking care of the poison damage now, right? You took care of the arrow years ago. Now you're fixing that poison damage because you're better than that. You're not going to live that way anymore. You're not going to allow things to live rent-free inside your brain and body that just make you feel weak and a little worse whenever the going gets worse. You're replacing those things. You seeked nourishment and you got poison in certain areas of your life. And now you are replacing, you're drawing out the poison, right? That's what happens when we do the work. We dig deep, we find the poison and we draw it out of ourselves and we're replacing it with nourishment. And let me tell you, that is a healing process that is sacred and really fucking hard. You're being a warrior for yourself right now. And you're being a warrior, I would say, for everyone who comes in contact with you in the future, because when we do this work, it has an impact on everyone we will ever engage with for the rest of our lives, and it allows us to be better people in the world. It allows us to be an agent of healing when we do our own healing work. But let me tell you, like, that shit's fucking hard. You're doing the hard work right now. Think about it. Think about, like, if you were poisoned and you had to, like, you knew your body was going to feel worse and worse until you drew that poison out with compresses. It's not a fast process, right? There's no quick fix. And so you understand, okay, well, I'm committed to this. I'm still doing it. I'm not going to live with a little bit of poison for the rest of my life. And you draw it out. And that will, like, make you feel weak, make you feel like you can't do the things that you are used to being able to do, make you feel like this is annoying and a burden and you wish life could just be simple, and it will pass. But it is a real process, and that's what you're going through right now, Eileen. You're drawing out the poison so that you can replace it with nourishment, so that you can rise again strong. So I just want to ask you to please be gentle with yourself. Understand that that's what you're doing, and be very gentle and loving to yourself. We're all in the squishy goo. Well, at least we're not in the soup anymore. That's right. We're becoming cake, damn it. Tiger says, preferably chocolate. Okay, so Tiger, you're my last person on deck. It's right here at noon. I'm going to be brave and pull a card for myself today. We're already a little bit over. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to just see if Tiger had a particular question. I'm going to pull a card for myself, and I'm going to remind us all to take care of our squishy selves. Okay, I don't see a question for Tiger. If you would like to get a February reading with me, this is like really your last chance. I beg of you, do it today, because tomorrow is just a busy day for me. And so if you wait until tomorrow, I might not be able to get you your reading for a few days, right? But if you do it today, today's the day that I'm trying to get all my readings done for everyone for the coming month. So if you would like a February reading, Tiny, or I'll put it in the chat again. It's also in my bio, at the link in my bio in Instagram, tinyorel.com/your tarot month. If you would like to order a full February reading, so more than just this one card, week by week breakdown of the vibe of February for you, and also tailored for you. What's the vibe? What energy should you bring? What's not the vibe? What energy should you steer clear of for your safety, for your wisdom, and also like shadow energy? What am I not seeing, right? Like bringing you that clarity. If you want to do that for February, order it today, because today is when the readings are happening. And I want to get it to you promptly so that you can enjoy it for the full month. It's a short month. Enjoy it, use it, Okay, Tiger, this is your card. Your card is the Hierophant. You're meant to turn to the words that I want to say right now are higher power. And I personally have some shit with those words. And perhaps you do too. I don't know. I don't know how everyone feels about different phrases, But those are the words that want to be said. So those are the words that I'm saying. What is the higher power for you? Is it your wiser self? Is it your moral compass? Is it what you believe to be true and valuable about moving through this world, right? Is it something like a deity or something that you believe watches over you, or a guardian angel or a guide? Turn to a higher authority at this time. You don't have to figure everything out yourself. That's the very, very important message. You don't have to figure it out yourself. Allow a higher authority to help you. Allow yourself to surrender to saying, hey, I'm doing my part. I'm asking you, universe, to meet me halfway. I'm asking you, universe, to show me, because I have, like, I have the willingness to show up and move forward and take steps, but I need a little fucking help. Allow yourself to surrender to that higher wisdom. Allow yourself to surrender to a higher authority. Allow yourself to ask for help. Allow yourself to ask for a teacher, because generally when we ask for a teacher, it does appear. Be aware that it never looks exactly like we imagine it, but that doesn't mean it's not here, right? Surrendering to what you hold high is what is needed for you right now, for both your healing and also for you. Like, I'm hearing recovery, but I mean it in the broadest, biggest sense, like recovering your true self, allowing yourself to live a less compartmentalized life. Allowing yourself to take a deep breath and feel like you can take the full breath, not like you're compressed, and like rammed into a small corner and just trying your best to survive in a place that's really not nurturing for you. The recovery, the way you get that sense of freedom, that sense of like, yes, I can be me, I can recover my full self, is by allowing yourself to trust in that higher authority. I'm going to be brave, y'all, and pull a card for myself. Live on air. And I say brave because I am in my own Daughter of Cups moment right now in a big squishy way, in several different areas of my life. So I'm going to be brave and be vulnerable because y'all have shown up. And I know tarot readings are vulnerable. And I know that I show up. I was reading in person like this at an event. And I was like, I'm aware that what happened was I was at this event. I was asked to read cards on stage to people. And like, so everyone saw everyone else's reading. And I'm aware, like, I don't tone it down. I don't make it more entertaining, less real. If you ask for me as a tarot reader, I'm going to give you your real reading, and I'm going to show up for you in a deep way and an emotional way, because that's who I am as a person and a reader. And so I am aware that what happened was I took the mic, and right now I'm here on camera, right? And people, came to me for their readings, and I was like, okay, here's your inner shit, and I'm about to speak it out loud to the whole room. And I know that that's uncomfortable. And I just want to thank you all for showing up, especially because like a lot of you show up every month. Thank you all for having the vulnerability and the growth and the bravery to be like, I'm showing up for that. I'm showing up for that because it's worth it for me on my journey. I'm showing up for the squishy feelings so that I can move forward, so that I can understand what I need to understand. Thank you for getting vulnerable. I'm getting vulnerable with you. Tiger says this so hits home. I'm so glad to hear it. Okay. And for all of us, y'all, we're driven by the Page of Cups right now. We have a vulnerable part of ourselves, and the vulnerable parts of ourselves, remember how I said the scary things are usually also scared. These vulnerable parts of ourselves can scare us in their very bravery. We get scared when a part of ourselves feels brave and happy-go-lucky and excited, right? Like the way, and like, I'm going to use the example of a mother yelling at a child because a child runs out into the street. The mother doesn't want to terrorize that child by yelling at them, but they know that child could get hit by a car. I have to act right now. I have to let them know they cannot run out into the street right? So they're like, no, get back, right? And they're very intense, right, in that moment, not to cause trauma to the child, but to avoid trauma for the child, right? And so these parts of ourselves that are vulnerable, that are happy-go-lucky like a child, we're scared for them. And that's why sometimes we're rough with them. That's why sometimes we're harsher than we need to be, because we're scared for those parts of ourselves. And we need to have a practice now of learning to be a gentle parent to those parts of ourselves, learning to create the safe boundaries so that those parts of ourselves can grow and blossom and heal. understanding that they're a little bit innocent and they may not know that a car could freaking hit them if they run out into the street. So we have to create that safety for ourselves so that that part of ourselves can blossom, so that we can let them frolic. And my card, y'all, ooh, I love this card for me this month. My card is Justice. And see how justice is black and white, but it's also like it's understood by understanding both sides of a situation, right? Like the very nature of like art that relies on like you can create art by drawing lines on a piece of paper and those lines create a shape, right? Or you can create art by creating shadows on a piece of paper and what is actually like the paper itself comes through as the art, right? Negative space, right, is what actually makes the art. And here it's like we have this energy of understanding things by looking at both sides of it. We understand justice by looking at injustice. We understand injustice by looking at justice. And that's the vibe for me in my own healing journey right now, is understanding what's right and true by looking at what isn't. Understanding what isn't working and how to set it right by asking ourselves what would set it right. We have to look at the full picture. We can't just look at one side of it. We have to ask ourselves clarifying questions and play devil's advocate a little bit by saying, well, what would the opposite of this look like? What would fairness look like? What would unfairness look like? What feels unfair and why does it feel unfair? What feels fair and why does it feel fair? This is the focus for me in my healing right now. Justice. So friends, remember to take good care of your squishy inner spirits. Be gentle with yourselves. Create wise boundaries so that your inner selves, your whimsical, joyful, free-spirited selves can have room to be happy-go-lucky and frolic and have fun, but also so that they don't get hurt or harmed by a world that can sometimes be harsh to whimsical free spirits, right? Create that safety for yourself. That's what we must do because we want to let it grow. We want to let it blossom. Our lives can get so big and so beautiful in ways we don't even know if we build that safe trust with ourselves. That's our mission for February. Thank you for listening. If you want a February reading, tinyurl.com/yourtarotmonth. If you want meditations with me every Monday, join the Monday Moon Magic and Meditation Club. I'm going to put that in there too. That's tinyurl.com/MMMM. 4 M's. tinyurl.com/. That's $11.11 a month. And we get together on Mondays at 11:11 a.m. And if you can't make 11:11 a.m., then the broadcast is there for you throughout the week. I was actually just seeing some of your comments, Eileen, on the broadcast from Monday that you like went through as you could this week. And I actually think that's wonderful. I love when it's like, I can get to it when I get to it. And sometimes I think that's divine timing. It comes to us when we need it. But anyway, if you want to meditate with me every Monday morning and like do the work, and work with the moon and also kind of have fun, gentle sleepover energy, you can. Monday Moon Magic and Meditation Club. If you want your February reading, get it done. If you want information about any of this or like the link doesn't work for you or you just want to ask me questions, message me. You know where to find me. Have a wonderful, my dears. I will see you again soon.